Jimmy's Jam Box. Keep jamming.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jam Box. We're here. We're back at it again, and we're going to get on into it. But before we do, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know what they are, but you do, and I trust you. With that being said, here's a quick word from our sponsor.
Coconut Genmaicha, a tropically inspired tea. This hearty and comforting Genmaicha pays homage to the traditional preparation with the addition of semi-sweet toasted coconut, pineapple, and rose. That's not only delicious, but inspires creativity. The Brothers Apothecary. Fine teas and remedies.
All right. Thank you all for watching. Again, shout out Brothers Apothecary. Holiday times aren't over yet, so go pick up some stuff now. Click the link below. But now let's go ahead and get on into it. Here is today's guest.
Hi, I'm Brett.
I'm David.
I'm Delaney.
I'm Bennett, and we are...
Sit Pretty.
Hello. Thank you all so much for joining us. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go in the same order again. And why don't y'all tell us a little bit about what you do individually?
Well, I'm Brett, as I said before, and I play drums. And I play drums.
Hell yeah. What about you?
I'm David, and I play bass, and that's mostly it, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Delaney, and I sing and play guitar.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Bennett, and I play other guitar.
Exciting. Well, very happy to have you all here. Thank you so much. And let's go ahead and let's start from the beginning. This one's kind of an open room question. How'd you all get started as a band?
Well, I had a band that Bennett was in, just playing like my solo music. It was called Cospopi.
Okay.
And we did that for a few years. And then the other guy in the band, the drummer named Chris, he and I had the idea of starting a new group and bringing in Delaney because we knew Delaney has chops, like singing wise. And so we did that. And then we brought in Bennett because we needed guitar and more stuff, and he can do that stuff. And so, that was kind of the start of that.
Hell yeah. And then we'll go ahead. We're going to dive into a little bit more individual instrumentation or like experiences with instruments. When did you each get started individually? And we'll start at this end.
Individually, like with music?
Yeah.
Or oh god, I mean, I was raised by musicians, so it was always around the house. I'm from the Bay Area. I'm from San Jose.
Oh, hey, from Sunnyvale.
No, shit. Oh, cool. Damn, yeah. When you get to her, even smaller world. But so I grew up, suburbia, Bay Area, and I think I started when I was like 11. And my younger brother, we used to play music together in the Bay, just, shitty garage punk bands and whatnot. Mostly just the two of us. We were both homeschooled, so didn't have a lot of friends. So we just kind of had each other, just guitar and drums. Got moved up to Eugene and kind of had to start, because I moved when I was like 18 and kind of had to start again, meeting musicians and stuff. But in Eugene, that's where I started meeting other musicians and playing around, because Eugene is like a college town, so there's places to play and whatnot. And that was like the beginning of like gigging and whatnot and touring and so forth. And I was at a Lane and then U of O, so I was there for college. Did not want to stay because Eugene you do not want to stay there. I mean, and there's people that do too. I mean, even The Simpsons joke about it. But I highly recommend anyone who's going to school there, just get out. You don't want to be one of the 60-year-old people.
If you're there now, don't be.
Yeah, just leave. So I just ended up in Portland because it was the closest city. And, Eugene and Portland are so close. When I was playing music in Eugene, I was playing shows up in Portland a lot. So it was a real soft, easy move. And I'm glad I did because I met all these cats. And I moved to Portland in like 2012, I think.
Okay.
And have just been hacking away. And I met Brett through our mutual friend Aaron. He had this show that was at Dante's. I think he's in LA now. Brett can tell you more. But Yeah, Brett, because I'd been playing in bands in Portland for a while, nothing was really like sticking, and then I think Brett texted me like out of the blue for this Cospoby thing that
Gotcha.
his solo project, and
Like a Facebook post of just saying like, "Hey, who plays bass?"
is that what happened? I thought you texted me.
And
Oh
you
shit!
were like the only one that responded like, "I play bass." And then I think
I thought you texted me. Yeah, never mind. I got the story wrong. Yeah. So yeah, I other way around. Never mind. I was just like, because yeah, like I had me and my brother. We both moved up to Portland together, and we kind of were doing some musical stuff, but nothing's really sticking. You end up going to school to be like an astronaut or something. And so I was kind of on my own, just basically like, well, you know, who's out there kind of. I ended up playing bass a lot just because that's what people needed. So I played bass with a lot of different bands because that's, you know, clearly like Brett needed it too. It's like, hey, we need a bass player. So that's how I met him, which is good because then I met Chris and then later Delaney. But yeah, so
Oh,
the area up to Portland. So
Became an astronaut.
no, he went. I'm just fucking with it.
Breezed over that.
No, he went to school. He did do some internships at NASA, but he does biotech, I think, over in Boston. He ended up moving to Boston. But yeah, my brother and I, like, we were moved to Portland together to do music, and then, you know, people go different ways. So I was definitely kind of like lonely and floating around, like, oh, what am I gonna do? Like, and it was like I liked playing with Brett, but it was definitely like, oh, you know, it's like a solo project. And again, I was like just kind of side personing a bunch of other bands, which was cool because I get to play.
Yeah.
But I hadn't really had a creative outlet since this group. And I mean, I think Delaney can even tell a better story, but like when Chris actually called me about when him and Brett were doing this new band, I'm like, what's this? Like, we're already in a band. Like, is this going to be any different? And then I showed up and Delaney was there, and that's a whole other story. But,
well, actually, why don't we take that opportunity and let's hear her story.
Let's see. My mom's a country singer, so I used to sing with her and learned how to play guitar when I was like 14 because we moved to Tennessee when I was, like 15. And so I learned how to play guitar and always been in choir class and stuff. And then I moved to Portland when I was, back to Portland because we were living in Oregon before.
Mm-hmm.
Moved back to Portland, and the first project I was in was called Delaney and Paris, and it was kind of like raunchy folk songs. And then we broke up. Gosh, what year was that? 2015? 2015, probably. Then didn't really do anything for a while, and then they asked me to be in a band, so.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. What about you?
I grew up in San Diego, and I moved here in like 2006 or 7.
to Oregon?
Yeah.
Oh.
With my mom wanted to move here with me and my sister. And before that, my parents were singers, and my dad played drums and guitar and stuff. And he was in some bands, and I actually first learned how to play drums. Not like on a drum set, but like drums were the most intuitive thing for me just because I was around them most of the time. And then I didn't have interest in guitar until like middle school, I think. And that was, I was already in Oregon at the time, like when that happened. And then I got my first guitar, I think when I was like a freshman in high school. And my friend just had this like waterlogged guitar on his balcony that he was just like, I don't need this shit, you can have it. And then it was all rusty and beat up, and I was like, oh, this is awesome, you know, like I was so excited.
Free guitar.
Yeah. And I just never put it down, and learned to play a lot of like folk songs and stuff. That's just the most simple way to get into it for me.
Yeah.
And then played with like friends and played in like school band and stuff, you know, like, or, you know, whatever. And then over time, just like built up a lot more confidence playing in front of people and stuff. And yeah, I just got lucky playing with them. So
Oh, yeah.
The answer to Craigslist ad.
Hey,
yeah,
those are real. Those still exist.
I mean, you never know. Like you answer like 30 ads, and you're like, okay, most of these are not it. And then I don't know. I just thought they're really cool and nice, so I was like, okay. And I like the music, so.
No, I was surprised. Like I think it was Delane's idea to do the Craigslist ad, and it's like, we're not gonna find anyone on Craigslist. And I stand
It's on Craigslist.
It's still,
apparently
it's still real.
Seem to use it.
It's still real. Yeah,
it is. Yeah,
It's definitely not as thought of as it used to be, just with like marketplaces being
sure. Yeah,
but it's still very much a thing.
Well, yeah, it's inflated with people who. I mean, it's just overinflated. Honestly, that's what it is.
yeah.
And so you get more the things you don't want, and then
Yeah.
kind of sift through a lot of things.
Yeah, you really got to read.
Yeah.
But you really do find talented people who are really nice and passionate about the music. You know, it's just you're on this weird website. It's just like, you know.
Yeah, it's not visually appealing.
No,
That's a big part. It's like when you look at it, you're like,
Yeah, it's just not.
yeah, like the purple font on the white background, like gray.
it's very clinical.
Yeah, clinical is
Like,
a very sterile.
Yeah.
Timely.
It is though. It hasn't changed ever. Craigslist,
Nope.
if you want to be on the show,
Craig, come on down.
yeah.
Greg.
But yeah.
Not to derail from the question, but like Craigslist used to be a really sketchy.
Oh yeah, in defense, when it first came out, there
There
was
was so
only
much
really a
clickbait.
couple reasons.
Oh Lord, yeah.
Oof.
And so when I saw their ad, I was like, okay, this is probably not legit.
It's probably
Yeah, they're hopefully real
You thought it
people.
was a trap.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, they're gonna.
We gotcha.
This is
They're gonna murder me.
oh
right. Yeah,
It's
I don't
worse.
know.
It was real. No,
Yeah, right? Now you're stuck
Now
with
you're
us.
Just
Yeah, stuck.
hell yeah. Well, I mean that's still cool. And wait, so I might have. Are you from California as well? In some
Delaney, yeah, I was gonna say.
Born in the Bay Area, but I moved to Oregon when I was 8.
Okay, so we're
Three of us are technically from California.
three Californians, and to finish it
I
up,
lived in California for like a year when I was a child. I lived
Monterey?
in Monterey, yeah.
Yeah.
all right. Well,
But I wasn't like from.
yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, then, what's your story?
Well, I grew up in Lebanon, the city, not the nation. Just like south of here. And then I went to OSU, hung out in Corvallis for a while. But I was in my first band while I was in college. I started playing drums with a rad rock and roll group called The Taste.
Okay.
That was
I was with your brother too.
it was my brother and various other people who kind of like imploded and had breakdowns and things, but yeah, I played drums just because like nobody else, we were like, we need someone to play drums.
Yep.
Who wants to take a crack at it? And we had like some borrowed pieces from the high school like band room that we just cobbled together, and I was like, oh, I guess I can kind of do this. But around the same time, I started like recording my own music, kind of just like writing songs and recording stuff, and I've been doing that like ever since. I do that all the time, and so that's how like eventually when I formed the live band, I just had like a bunch of songs that were kind of all over the place. But I kind of like how this band is like, we have more of like a sound we can kind of work on and like kind of carve out a vibe that we're going for.
Yeah, a little more.
Like,
I don't want to say focus, but we're more aware of branding, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's like any, I think, singer songwriter, like with your stuff. Since you're not beholden, it's just going to be this free form expression of everything.
Yeah.
I think album to album, you had some vibes though, with Cospobi.
I think there was a vibe. Definitely.
yeah, I mean, I don't
it's
really
impossible
know what it
to-
is because I can't see it from the inside.
Yeah. It's impossible to not have a vibe. Even
Right.
Definitely have
all
a
the
vibe.
songs are
Well,
different.
I
The
guess what
people still play.
Right, but I guess what you're saying too, like with Sit Pretty, there's definitely more of an intentional, like, okay, let's
Yeah.
not trying to paint ourselves in corners, but we're just aware of, again, I hate to use the word branding, but that's kind of the best thing to.
Presentation.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we'll get into the band presently in just a moment. I want to dig into a little bit more. Actually, I have a question that's like specific to all y'all's answers together. For you two in the middle, you had musical parents. It sounds like you had a musical upbringing. For you two on the end, it sounds like you guys had siblings who did music with you. For you two, did you also have parents who were musical?
My mom and dad, yeah, like I said, they were both musicians, and they played together too. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And what about you?
Oh, my parents had They had some acoustic guitars, but they didn't really play them.
Okay, so it wasn't as active.
They were just kind of laying around. So
Yeah.
then, like, when my brother was like, "Oh, we should take guitar lessons," like, "Oh, because
you already had
guitars." But my parents did have a really awesome record collection.
Gotcha.
So that was like where I heard a bunch of good stuff.
Interesting. Only the person who was born and lived in Oregon was the one who didn't have the musical family.
Actually, Brett's missing out of our. No, Brett was actually born in Alaska too. So we span the entire West Coast from San Diego to Alaska.
Okay.
I went from Alaska to Iowa.
You guys need a Canadian keyboard player.
No.
Just to fill that little.
If we had 5 members, we wouldn't be able to fit in here though. So.
Well, now that you've been on the show, you can add a Canadian keyboard. Also, I know it's not alliteration, but Canadian keyboard player.
True.
It's got a ring to it. I'm just saying, something to consider.
Yeah.
All right, but like I said, I've got a couple more questions in the foundation, and these are fun questions. These are just kind of these are ones we always ask, and the answers are always exciting. And this first one, it's definitely a crowd favorite. And we'll start at this end. What was the first album y'all ever bought with your own money?
With my own money?
Mm-hmm. Like you were like, I want to go get this album, and
the money you
your
stole.
money.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, as a child, all the money was like my parents,
Yeah.
wasn't mine.
But like the first one you went and bought of your own accord.
I remember getting, and this was like the end of the cassette era.
Mm-hmm.
I remember getting One Hot Minute by the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh yeah.
And Tiny Music from the Vatican Gift Shop by Stone Temple Pilots. I bought those at the same time.
Okay.
On cassette or CD?
On cassette.
Nice.
Nice.
Because
Do you still have them on cassette?
I still got them somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't have a cassette player, but
I mean, those are easier to get than some of the cassettes.
Yeah. But I mean, I think the Tiny Music album really holds up. I listened to it the other day. I was like, okay, this is a good record. One Hot Minute is okay.
I like it.
It's all right. I don't know.
Chili Peppers lives in this odd between like timeless and dated sound.
Yeah.
That's really
Love
apt.
it.
That's super apt.
Yeah.
Between timeless and dated.
A Chili Peppers phase, and then you're like, okay, I'm done with that now.
Yeah.
Put it this
I'll
way, if
never
it,
be done with it.
Delaney
I'll
loves it.
never be done with the
lifelong
Chili
thing.
Peppers.
For me, it's like if it
A long time.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
I still listen to the.
if it comes on the radio, I won't change the channel. I'm like,
Oh.
no, I can't say I'll like actively listen to an album, but if somebody puts it on, I'm gonna
Right.
sit with it. You know,
Yeah.
I have put on a Chili Peppers record here and there. Also, like as guitar too. Like that was a foundational like guitar playing music. I think like for Shantae. So
they also had an
back to that.
interesting like rise and fall through like a presence. Like they were there for a minute, and then they would kind of they would not be there, and then they'd show back up, and every time they showed up, they would just hit, and they would just hit, and they would just
yeah,
and then so it's like it like there wasn't this like massively consistent win, like it all
Right.
didn't like skip generations, but there was just a small enough gap that periodically people would go without finding them
When,
for the smallest time, and then it would show up as almost new again in the beginning.
right. Like that the Stadium Arcadium album. I remember that came out, and my parents were like, "What? These guys again? I thought this was '90s." So they do have kind of an ebb and flow, and they perennially come back and go like, "It's us again," and people still buy it. So
They
good.
played a lot, though. I think that was really what it came down to, is they got such a global reach from just being everywhere.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, that was also during a time where like you couldn't just get into the studio in your like tour bus.
No.
But we're not here to talk about
Chili Peppers.
if y'all want to be on the show.
Peppers.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. There's 4 of them. They'll fit.
Yeah,
Oh, there's
yeah,
4 of them?
Yeah, there's John, Chad, Flea, and
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Anthony. Yeah, there's
I
4.
was thinking- I don't know why I just immediately thought of them as a 3-piece.
See, I always like think of AFI kind of in the same window of time, and that like aesthetically they had those things going on, so I could see that.
Yeah.
Also, 3-piece bands were way bigger
Mhm.
back in that time.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
Green
I
Day
keep
and
trying to
Nirvana.
find some 3-piece bands to get on the show.
You know a 2-piece we could throw your way.
Perfect. Now if I could just find a 3-piece.
Yes. Sorry, can't help you.
All right, but we've got one last foundation question. Like I said, this is in the same vein, but this is also a fun one. What was the first live show you ever went to that was your own choice to go to? And we'll start at this end again.
Wait, did they answer the first record?
Did you guys not? Oh my
did
God,
not. We talked about Chili Peppers for so long.
Really,
We just all love the Red Hot.
I'm so sorry.
It's
I'm so
okay.
sorry. Let's finish that up then.
Yeah. David, go.
I think it was Eminem's Curtain Call. Is that what it's?
Hell yeah.
I bought it on CD.
Third one, the red one.
Yeah.
Oh.
I bought the CD. Me and my friend were like obsessed with Eminem, like especially because like 8 Mile came out and we're like, oh, this is like fucking awesome.
Yeah, this is it.
And I think that was like the first thing I bought, which was a little weird for my parents because they're like super religious and I'm like not. So, you know, but I don't know. I guess it was fine at the time. But yeah, I think that was the first album I purchased.
Fun fact: that is like 50% of the answers for first album pick.
Yeah.
Some Eminem album.
Really?
Weird.
I am not exaggerating at
That's
all.
so
That is
cool.
like at least half.
Whoa.
Yeah, there's somebody has to. I keep saying this every time that gets brought up. Somebody go in the comments and put which episodes have it. Let's get a real number going. There will be something if you do.
Wow.
And each time I offer it, it's going to get bigger and bigger.
You should have like a tally.
Tally like Eminem.
Eminem.
And I'll keep going from here.
You just pull like a curtain up. You're like, well, and it's like,
All right, we got to 200. You get the prize.
All right, but let's not tangent off on
Right.
another artist.
Yeah.
Let's
Chili Peppers, Eminem.
And what about you?
I can't really remember, but yeah, because like a lot of music was given to me.
Fair.
But I think maybe I bought a Dresden Dolls album when I was
Aw.
a teenager.
Okay.
But yeah, like before I had any money, like my parents would give me.
Yeah.
Didn't your dad give you like Jagged Little Pill?
Oh yeah, he gave me Jagged Little Pill, but my mom took it away. Because I was like 9 and she's like,
It was too
He's saying
jagged.
bad words.
yeah.
I can see that. I get that. That's a dense one for a 9-year-old.
Blowjobs in the theater and
Yeah.
stuff. Like.
Yeah, I
I
get
didn't know what the words mean, but I liked it.
And you still like it because it's a good album.
Yeah, it's great.
fair. You can appreciate it more now for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hell yeah. And then to wrap it up.
Similar to Brett and Delaney, there's just a lot of music in the house given to me, so it's hard to. But I have a distinct memory of like when I was 11 or 12, and I think it was because I had a gift card. I can't remember, so it's not quite my own money, but it's like, oh, this is money for me to spend, and it was a greatest hits of the Who, like that 20th Century Pastmaster thing. So I guess it doesn't count because it wasn't really an album, but I was like, I don't know what to buy. But like I hear my parents listening to the Who, you know, kind of thing, and I liked all the loudness and the guitar.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
that still counts. You bought
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I don't have that, but yeah, like it was just, and like I don't think I have it anymore because I don't have any greatest hits. But just like, because I must have been 11 or 12, but I distinctly remember buying that CD. Like I like this band again, just going from remembering the name and hearing it, and yeah, for a long time that was pretty foundational, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Even though I don't have it anymore, but just as an introduction. I think that's correct. I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, you would be the one to know.
Right.
We're going to trust you.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. And now, to wrap it up, what was the first live show y'all ever went to? That was like the one that you were like, this show is happening. I want to go to it. And we'll start at this end.
This I do remember. It was back in the Bay Area, because obviously the Who and what I got into the, you know, boomer classic rock stuff, and I saw when Robert Plant had that solo tour, or that band he put together in 2005. So it must have been 16 or 17. And I specifically was looking for tickets in the days of Ticketmaster, and they were sold out. And I went, not Craigslist, but went on the internet to find people who have them. I forget, maybe it was Craigslist. And we drove out to the boonies to some mansion in the woods, get the tickets, and drove to, because I was in San Jose, and drove to Oakland to see Robert Plant. It was great. I was a big Zeppelin fan at the time, and it was it was a good show for a 50 whatever year old he was at the time. But that was the distinctive get tickets from Ticketmaster, go drive to the show, blah blah blah.
Hell yeah,
it was cool.
Hell yeah. Do you remember which theater in Oakland it was?
It was. Oh my God! Can you name some of? Is it the Paramount Theater, the Fox?
The Fox?
Theater? I think it was the Fox.
Okay.
The Fox sounds about right.
That's a good venue.
Yeah, it was. It was had not Arlene Schnitzer kind of vibes, really nice theater. Yeah, no, amazing sound. Again, I was a teenager, so I didn't know this from that, but I remember this sounds great. The song's great. He played a lot of Zeppelin tunes too, and hell
yeah,
very fun teenage experience.
Hell yeah. All right, and then what about you?
The first one that I wanted to go to, which I snuck at. Well, I said I was staying the night somewhere, and I was like, God, I was like 17. We went to Mindless Self-Indulgence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, Dresden Dolls, Mindless Self-Indulgence. Particular childhood music, didn't you? I'm saying that from I listened to them as well during
Oh,
that.
God.
So I'm just like, I feel it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I bet that was an interesting show.
That was fun. It was
Definitely during a time when they were like unhinged.
Mhm.
Like that was prime moments. Hell yeah.
It was super fun.
Hell yeah. And what about you?
I think, a show I actually wanted to go to. I think it was Minus the Bear,
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Roseland Theater, and that was like sophomore in high school or something like that. A lot of my like musical stuff took off in like high school. I think it was Minus the Bear, and I didn't know any of their songs really, but my friend, we were like super close, and he showed me their new album. And he's like, "You want to go? Like, I'll pay for your ticket. Like,
Oh, wow.
my mom will take us or whatever."
Hell yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, let's go." Like, and I liked the songs, so I was really pumped for it. And then I became a huge fan by the end of the show.
Nice.
I love becoming a fan of a band after you watch them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Young the Giant opened for them.
Okay.
Yeah, and they were called the Jakes at that time.
Whoa.
And when they were done, I was like, "Holy fuck, this band's amazing!" Like, and they were opening, like, and I was just like, "Wow, I got my money's worth. I didn't pay anything, but I felt like it was just such a awesome experience. Like,
Hell yeah.
being the first show like that I wanted to go to, and having like just awesome bands on the bill. Like, there's another band called Everest, I think, but I don't think they're together anymore. But
Hell yeah.
yeah, Young the Giant. I'm glad I got to see them live too.
I bet that was an experience for sure.
Yeah, they were really good. Yeah.
Hell yeah. And then to wrap it up.
I think Tricky was the first show that I
Really?
heard about and wanted to. It was like the first real concert I went to. Because I was probably like a sophomore in high school, like you said. But I was just really. I mean, in high school, I was really into electronic music and trip hop and all that stuff. And so
Fair. It was harder to get into electronic things in high school too.
it was, especially in like a small town.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And this was like pre-Spotify and everything, and so
LimeWire.
True.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Allegedly.
before that,
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Before that.
LimeWire.
we would have to wait till we would like take a trip to Portland, and then we'd go to Everyday Music,
Mhm.
the CD store, and I'm like, now I can get all these albums. But and that show I remember was weird because it was like it felt very long. I don't know how long he played, but it felt like a long show, and he just like Tricky just chain smoked on stage
Oh, yeah.
sometime and would just sing sometimes. A lot of the show he would just kind of stand there just smoking cigarettes, then every once in a while he'd come up to the mic and just do his like mumbly thing, then he'd just go back and light another cigarette. And
What venue was this?
it was at what's the place? Remember like Roture, and before that it
That
was
place.
Portland,
Yeah.
something else.
The Meow Meow or something.
Yeah,
I
it was
remember.
there. And I
That's
don't know.
awesome. I missed that venue, and I wish it didn't disappear.
Yeah,
The last place it
it
was.
might have still been the Meow Meow, but
Okay.
it's a good show.
Damn.
Yeah, meow.
Hell yeah.
I think it was called the Meow Meow at one point.
Hmm.
Weirdly enough.
And I think that was the show that the Beta Band opened for him.
No shit.
Yeah,
Hell of a show.
it was cool.
Hey, y'all had some really cool first experiences for sure. For sure. All right, but we've talked enough about the then. Let's talk about the now. And we're going to get the super easy one out of the way. Whoever wants to answer this one can. How'd y'all pick the name?
Oof.
Well, we've answered this question before. We had like a long list.
Long.
Yeah.
It was an endless text
Yeah.
conversation. It was very frustrating, and I don't know. I can't remember how we landed on
I
Sit
think
Pretty.
Sit Pretty was in there because it was my dog's best trick.
Mm.
She's
right.
really good at that trick, but it could have so many other meanings. But there were a bunch of other names.
Tons. It was a long process that
Yeah, it was really
was
just
very unfun.
of like elimination. I think it finally just got down to like
Yeah.
Sit Pretty and something else, and then we were like, well, let's just pick one because it's been months.
Yeah.
We need,
Yeah. It was a long time.
need something like flip.
I remember specifically like Sit Pretty looks good in print, like visually, the short first word
Yeah.
longer. But yeah, that's I mean, yeah, it's a trick our dog did. DJ Barbarella had an awesome essay on it that I think we might just be going with because they really dug in. But yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Hell yeah. Picking the name is definitely never an easy process. I've never met somebody who's like, we came up with it on the first try.
No.
Yeah.
I always say it falls into the rule of the 10 bad ideas before you have one good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when I was picking out the Smooth Talk, it was a chore.
Yeah.
Like every single member of the band was like, well, what about this? What about that? And just wrote down everything and just process of elimination. This looks dumb on paper. Perfect. Now what does it sound like?
Yeah.
It's just, and then when you find it, you're like, that's it.
Yeah.
So it's nice when you finally do land on it.
Yeah, it was a very similar to process to what you just described. Just lots of back and forth.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't know. And a lot of other folks read into it a lot too, which is good, which is a good thing. I think everyone should. It is their Sit Pretty now. They can.
It's fun when people come up with backstory for your names and material, and you're like, oh, that is what I meant.
Yeah,
exactly. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Spot on.
I am going to repeat that like I said it first.
Yes.
I remember I was watching, oh my God, who was I watching? Oh, I can't remember who it is now. I feel so bad because they were such a good band. But there was some band I was watching where like, literally before the guy started, he was like, man, I got to tell you all about this. Somebody came over and they had a tattoo of the song name and they were like, oh, it's got such a deep meaning and this and that. And they were just like, the line was like, you know, like the window is open or something like that. And he was literally like, I'm sorry, guys. I hate to tell you, but the line is there because the window was open.
Oh.
It's like, damn, you just had to give it away. But yeah, so that can definitely happen.
Yeah, but that's great though. It's like that line means a lot to them. Like you've seen there's that letter where it's a letter from Herman Melville to someone else, and we don't have the letter to Herman Melville, but the letter says like, oh, I never thought of the whale that way. So it's like the art is for other people to make it mean what they want. So
exactly.
Yeah.
All right, now let's go ahead and we're going to talk about your writing process. And as a band, it's definitely an experience. You know what I mean? One person sitting there thinking out their stuff, that's something. But coming together collaboratively is a whole other experience. And we're going to start right at the beginning. When it comes time to start a track, how do you guys usually go about getting into it initially?
Well, I feel like we're just more recently writing songs through a lot of band collaboration. We're trying to do that more.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's focus on that process.
It's tough.
It is.
I'm honestly not as much of a fan of it because it tends to like drag, but I don't know. You can find like some magic sometimes because, you know.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, what are some of the things that you guys are doing in the beginning to get started?
Oh, in the very beginning?
Yeah, like when
demos.
Yeah, when you want to get together and write.
Oh, well, since we all write songs in the band, like we've brought things in separately and then just made it like a band experience.
Okay.
At first.
Somebody will have a concept and bring it to the
right. Like, well, yeah, it'll come in
song even.
Yeah, sometimes a whole finished song. Sometimes it is just like an ABAB. Which before and even during David too, like it's just easy because it's like, okay, here's the idea, and then you can start like snipping the ends off of it and dressing it up. One of my favorite things we've done, like, because sometimes, someone will give an ABAB or a chord progression, and then it's like the Postal Service. It'll go into the hopper. Someone will pick it up. It's like, I have a melody for this. Or I have an outro. Like, that was like one of my favorite things to do is just like, okay, like, and then like, and then
backwards.
Well, yeah, or just like record like a whole B part, and then like, here's that, and then we get together and play it. So, but yeah, recently we have started like, writing in the room more often, which
jamming. Just like seeing what happens kind of thing. But I feel like we've been a little more successful at like someone has a solid idea and then going from there.
Okay.
I have a lot of song demos that I just record for the hell of it. Yeah. So it's always like my instinct is just like, okay, I'm going to have like a semi like thought out finished song, and then I'll bring that in. And we can like, make it come alive. But
do you ever just write drums for an entire song and bring it to the band?
Just the drums?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of songs I start with like they kind of start from drums, like just the beat in mind.
Yeah.
Of just like, I like this and I want to write something around it.
Fair.
But
The only reason
go ahead.
I was gonna say the only reason I ask is because there was another band once who they just had recently done that for the first time, and they talked about it on the show. The drummer wrote an entire song, but just the drums.
Oh, weird.
And brought it to the band, and the band had never approached it that way either. So they were like, oh, so like they had this kind of the frame of space to work, with, but no limitations on what they wrote.
Huh.
So they would go to him and be like, hey, could you change the drums for this one spot? I have an idea. And he would go and redo the drums for that spot. And they said that it was actually one of their more like creative ways of writing.
Oh, neat.
Something to think about.
It's like how DJs or something.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny what Brett mentioned about beats too, because like I don't play drums, but whenever, because again, like we all do a lot of demos at home, and I start with the beat too. Like it'll be a sample, or I do a lot of samples like with demos, just like, okay, I want this vibe, and then I'll just like rip off a drum part from a song and then kind of like build from there. So
it's funner than a metronome.
Yes.
Yeah.
But also, I had one question for you. As the newest member of the band, they had already had somewhat of an established experience just from being together previously.
Yeah.
What was it like integrating into that?
I kept an open mind about everything. Like I feel like for me personally, I adapt well with people. Getting to know their quirks or how they are or something, everybody has them.
Yeah.
And seeing if I could vibe with that over a long period of time. And so, I mean, that was kind of the first step. I guess first they showed me, they got back to my email and they were like, yeah, if you can learn these songs, that like, we'll have you come out on audition. And I was a little like, oh, they're like music theory, like
lol, no.
by ear, like, and I was a little like intimidated by that. But then
wouldn't that have been the opposite?
That's the anti-music.
I don't know.
Yeah, we didn't send you sheet music.
If they were like, you need to know music.
Well, I didn't know because like the expectation to know that, all just like listen to this and learn it,
But most people need notes.
True.
Mhm.
And look
I
at that,
don't know.
you did it.
Most people
I do need notes.
No, but you
no musical notes. She means musical
I
notes.
worked it out, but like I don't know. I think that's just naturally where my brain goes. Meeting new musicians,
Yeah.
they're way better than me or something.
Oh.
Not all.
I think that's common, right? Like you don't know, so your brain automatically goes into like, okay, they're probably way better than me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that.
So that was where my brain went. Maybe that was the wrong way to
When did you stop thinking that?
That's a good question, actually.
Probably when I got in. I mean,
Just immediately first chord. Oh, I think I'm gonna do well here.
no,
Right
but
off the bat, just like, oh, these guys suck.
These guys are not good musicians.
but they would tell me like
Craigslist ad.
like I think I learned 3 of their songs.
Yeah.
And I like they were like, okay, some of these notes are not right, but like you're super close. And like I was like, okay, I can learn like all their songs then if this is how easy it is to pick them up.
Oh yeah.
Because they are easy songs.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
So then it just became, because they had so much history together, how can I ease into this new group? It's like easing into a new friend group, being a new kid at school or something,
Yeah.
But they're so nice and just like welcoming that it didn't really feel like much work adapting to them. So
Oh yeah.
Oh.
yeah,
That's awesome.
so it's been fun.
All right. And then as kind of another group question, how long does it take once a song is finished on paper? So you have, you all have your parts, you all know what you're supposed to do. From that point, how long does it take to get a song ready to perform?
Not long.
Couple practices, maybe.
Yeah, because we do so much what I like to call homework, again, because we are still kind of in that demoing phase. So it's like when we get into band practice, it's basically like rehearsals. So I think we're pretty fast on the factory floor.
Okay.
It seems like once we can get through the song,
Yeah.
we each remember our parts, then it's like we're always very eager to like let's do it live.
Yes, I'm horrible about that. It's like, come on, like
Mm-hmm.
we need new shit. Let's go.
I got you. I mean, I get that for sure. There's definitely been a few times where like we had finished writing songs before and I was like, can we play them now?
Yeah,
Because like we don't know them. I'm like,
learn
we
them.
have a show in 3 days. We can go. We have copies. We can practice at home.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Homework.
Also, it just this is just for a question for me. Do you all have practice before you perform? Like day of? Do you ever
No.
get together and play?
I veto that. I absolutely hate practicing before performing. I'm sorry if you guys want to do that, but I will not.
Yeah, I don't like doing that because I try to save my voice. You know, I don't want to overdo it.
I don't think. Yeah, I'm not. I don't think there's much. Yeah, I have no interest. But like, I think it's good that anyone warms up before, because going into a show cold, you've played 3 songs warming up, and then those first 3 songs probably sounded.
Yeah.
And that feels bad.
Although that last show, we didn't practice for a fucking month.
We also played those songs.
True, yeah.
Yeah.
We went on tour with them and stuff.
Like, I don't know. There's a point where you play a song so many times, it's like
That you don't need to.
Yeah, you could. Yeah. So I don't know. That not practice, but just warm up and just be like loose or something. You know, being too tight on stage feels just dumb. You know, like it's like, why did I do this to myself?
No, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
All right, and then the last writing process part. When do you decide a song is usually ready to release, to put out onto like platforms and tangible medias to be experienced in the homes of others?
I guess once we've played it enough and we're really practiced and played it out a lot.
Well, once it's recorded.
Fair.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's different though. Like we have a new single coming out, and like we played those songs to death. We toured with them, and they were in every set list, and for good reason, because like we're going reel to reel. So it's like, okay, let's go and completely practice. But during COVID, before David, like we had an album, and we definitely like put some songs on there that I don't even think we performed yet. But again, because like we just knew them really well, it's like, well, we have nothing but time. We can't play live. So, but yeah. So going forward, I'm not sure because these next 2 songs that are coming out are the only thing like in the hopper. So I'll be curious, but I think like I personally prefer like having some road experience on the songs. But yeah, we'll see next year how long it takes to go to tape.
Oh yeah. All right. Now for this next one, we're going to start at this end, and these will be individual answers. What is your favorite song of y'all's to perform?
Ooh.
Oh, favorite to play?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never thought about that one.
And it doesn't have to be like the quote unquote the best song, but like the one
favorite to play. Yeah.
You as the instrumentalist that you are, which one brings you the most joy when you're playing it?
I don't know. I mean, they all bring me joy when I play them.
You have to pick one.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. David, you go.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
To play, yeah. I think New Normal, just because it's so like me and Ben and I, we do this thing where we trade off like these little like things. These
Yeah.
And I like those spontaneous things in songs, like where we know the ins and outs. We can fuck with them a little bit live.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love that like a lot. And I'd like to do that more with some other songs, but for that one, it's always been like that's the identity of that song a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the pick scrape and the yeah.
And it's such a small little thing, but it just adds more fun to like just like a kind of punky fast song, you know.
Yeah. It's a raucous banger.
Oh, yeah. No, that was a great answer.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's probably mine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Mine is probably Crypto Blood.
Oh yeah.
We have that cute dual guitar thing we do in that one, and yeah, I like that song a lot.
There's a music video for it too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think I kind of like Implied Consent because it has like, for me to play at least, because I really just kind of hang out on like tone. I just just play big open chords. I'm not. So it sounds like I'm being kind of lazy, but I do just like, all right, I'm just letting the amp roar. But we use a lot of drum machine stuff. So we'll have like drum machine and live drum, which I fucking love. I love like the robot and the flesh and like the dance beat. And we also do kind of a little dual little thing at the end. But yeah, I just love it again because I can just kind of like swim in it and, you know, just let the amp roar. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Circling back.
I'm like, because I would say outcrowd because I like the dual, like the live drum and
yes, I love that.
samples. Because when it works, it's like really awesome. But when it doesn't work,
it hasn't not worked in a while. We've been
I think that song is like I'm always on the fence because I love playing it.
Yeah.
But every time we play it live, there's always that anxiety of like, can people hear it? Is it loud enough? Am I going to be able to hear it? Am I going to hit the thing on time? And it's like you want it to sound really cool.
Yeah.
When it works though, it's fucking
yeah.
Do y'all play with like backing tracks or like in-ears?
Yeah.
Or not backing track, but sorry, in-ears?
Yeah.
Or anything like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at least you have access to that as a like you'll probably be able to hear when it happens.
Yeah. But I know that we've done shows where like it's fine, and then we'll watch like videos and it's like, oh, you can't hear the drums at all.
or opposite when it's too fucking loud and it's like, oh no, that did not sound good.
Oh yeah.
You know, some of that comes down to the venue too.
Yeah.
That like unless you show up with a pre-mixed like set of outs, you know, so like if you showed up with like an XR16 and you were like, hey, here's everything you're gonna need, just set the volume to this. And nobody has the time for that. It's such a
we had a few moments like that on our last tour, where we gave them our input list.
Yeah.
And then we show up and they're like, well, so what do you guys need? And we're
We
like,
sent you a fucking email.
the DI box. And they're like, oh shit. And one of them had to run home.
Right, they drove home.
Wait,
Yeah.
And like, it's a critical part of
a venue.
yeah. And
Yeah, a venue.
Yeah, like not even a part of your sound.
so we were
That was
DI.
fun.
If you're a venue and you're watching this, have DI.
yeah.
Have DI box, just please. It's not. That's
Like, you know, we were like even thinking like, should we just fucking buy our own? Because like if we go on tour and that happens, we can play a song, but it's gonna sound really weird and stripped down, you know.
Yeah.
So having our own on tour, where someone might not give a shit that we're on tour anyway, like just like, oh well, I don't have it, so I'll just figure it out, you know.
Yeah.
Did we end up buying one, or we not yet? We probably should. Let's put that on the laundry list.
Honestly,
Please
DIs
go.
are definitely accessible instrument or items to get. Or Yamaha makes a super tiny mixer called the MG06,
Okay.
which is like a DI on steroids.
Okay.
How so?
Because it's a
Send us a
mixer,
link to
first
that.
of all.
Oh,
But it's two combination inputs as well as two pairs of stereo 1/4-inch inputs. So you get a total of 3 stereo ins, but 2 of them are XLR. It's physical XLR outs.
Huh.
It's got a little bit of it's poor, but it's got built-in reverb that you can turn on and off and blend. And it's only about that big. I may or may not have one that I'll show you after the show.
all right.
Don't sponsor this show. I can't have too many products showing up. But it's just something to consider. And they're like $100 or like 100. I think they're like 130.
Like a
You can
mental
definitely get them
note.
used for like 75. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah. So just, you know, if you wanted something that adds a little extra and it gives you a little bit of control over what you're sending to the house. So if you were like, man, I wish we could give them a little bit more, but we can't, you can with that. And vice versa. If it's too much, bring it down respectfully. So it just gives you a little more control.
We have a speak. Or go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say when we were first starting to play together, that seemed to be the biggest issue was the sample pad.
Yeah.
Or I guess we had a different thing, but like it was always just like, oh, we can't figure it out. Why volume's not working? And it's like, and then they'd ask us like, oh, is this loud enough for you? Like, no, we can't hear shit. And then they'd be like,
better
okay,
about
well,
it.
no. And
Yeah.
I'm like, no, we still can't hear anything. You know, like it's just been a huge like headache.
Yeah.
Like it's slowly becoming easier to navigate that at shows. Like, I don't know.
I think just with like practice, it's same with her. Like she recently got a vocal pedal so that, so it's like, okay, she's setting like, all right, here's what effects I want. Don't worry about it on the board. And then she can plug it in your monitor on there too. So we're not even like fucking with monitor.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's made a world of difference, especially at dive bars and
a lot
stuff.
better.
See, and the small mixer would add to that because it has its own dedicated headphone out.
Okay.
So you could have that blend into something that's transmitting out to y'all and get all of it regardless of what the house does.
Huh.
And that just adds a little more independent control. But we'll do a gear chat after this. You know, this is something I live in, but
Sure.
not quite for the show. But we are going to stick to performance stories. Let's hear some of your tales from tour.
Ooh.
And this one, just if whichever one thinks of one first, let's just hear a rowdy story, an exciting story, anything you want to tell us.
I have one, yeah.
Oh, perfect.
So
Berkeley story.
The Berkeley. Oh,
Berkeley.
My favorite. That was my
Berkeley,
favorite
yes.
show on tour. That was my favorite one.
I'm sour about that one. I have a bias, but
Oh,
But it was an adventure. It was an adventure we all had together.
Trash, though.
No,
right?
no, 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 no.
No,
Not,
it was-
we're not throwing
No, no,
anybody
no.
under the bus.
I
Yeah,
played
we'll let somebody else tell the Berkeley story. Let's hear.
Yeah,
let's hear one you like.
It wasn't with this band, but I played a show in Seattle at this tavern. Lucky Liquor in Seattle. It's like right kind of near the airport, SeaTac, I think.
Mhm.
We were getting ready to play, and I don't know if I can say this, but I was smoking a little too much weed outside, and like I was
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
yeah. And I just I was like, oh, I'll be fine by the time we get on.
Oh
And
no.
I did not. So
Oh.
and I like
You ever do that to us?
and so I was like splashing water in my face and shit, and then like drinking water and just like trying to get out of it. And it was like the worst show I've ever had. And like I was on bass, so like it's just there's no rhythm there. You know, like it was
I'm
just
so
awful.
sorry.
And all I could do was just laugh it off, you know, like
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gone.
You're there.
Yeah, I'm just in a different planet. So like I just laughed it off. But then like ever since then I'm like, okay, it can't be that bad, you know, like
Yeah.
so
I never, in a previous band, my brother once got too drunk and he was on drums, and that was not good
No.
at all.
Tough one.
it's a lame
Imagine.
story, but it's just like it's stuck in my brain as like the worst show I've ever done, which I feel bad about for the other band, but
It's a cautionary tale now. Now you know.
it just like it immediately came to me like that was the worst experience of my life.
Fair. I remember I was watching a band once who I won't say who it is, but they're a local band, and they got on stage, and like 2 minutes in, you just saw the bassist go,
New.
and the singer looked over, and after the song was done, he's like, "Hey guys, by the way, the mushrooms just kicked in."
Oh.
God.
Everybody in the room went, and he went. Keep playing, held it down.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Just like everybody watched him go through this moment, and instead of just letting him be, the singer was like, ah ha ha ha,
Pointing the spotlight on him.
You were like, all right, man. Hey, good for you.
It's interesting how that ruined your performance.
Yeah.
When I feel like the stereotype is like all the greatest musicians are just like high out of their
High off their gourd.
That's so not
perform.
true.
Yeah, I feel like that's not really
Well, that and now societally, like back in the day, I think there was that because more musicians were doing that just because it was kind of it was there. It was in the life. It was part of it. And
We're going into a new temperance movement, really.
yeah. And I mean, like right now, especially in music and a lot of different arts, even in like stand-up comedy, where it's like aggressively prominent for a lot of its early, drugs have kind of removed themselves because there's so much appreciation and understanding. I think back in the day, it was a little shunned when you did certain genres, especially. And so like that kind of removed the shame. It removed that debilitation of like the throes of society.
Yeah.
Now it's so all music is so much easier to appreciate that people want to invest in it. They want to spend that they want to use the upper echelon of their brain to introduce something more. And at a certain point, drugs also became so accessible that I'm sure it just started to be diminishing at a certain
Diminishing returns, definitely. Like, yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, there you go, society. We broke that one down for you.
Welcome.
Yeah.
All right, but we haven't heard fun.
Yeah. I
stories
want to
from
hear
y'all.
everyone else.
Yeah.
You can tell the Berkeley story.
well, we don't have to tell the Berkeley story.
Love the Berkeley.
I liked the
I'm
Berkeley
trying to think of like
show.
with this band or with
Yeah, well, let's hear some stories with this band.
like what's like
And it doesn't have to be a bad story. It can be a fun story. Just like tales from
Tell the
tour.
Berkeley story.
Why don't let's have you tell
wanna
the
tell
Berkeley
it, just-
story.
You're
Yeah.
a better storyteller.
You have to talk too.
Well, okay, we played this show in Berkeley
Mhm.
at this place called the Art House Gallery,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like
watching this interview.
I don't know.
it was like
It's not gonna say anything bad. It was,
60s or 70s.
it's very 60s, 70s. It was Berkeley.
60s/70s. So we walk into this place and it's just like a relic to the like 60s and 70s, and the owner is this older man. Was it Harold?
It was either Harold or
I
Howard.
got it wrong. When I
Yeah.
first, oh God. Yeah, I got it wrong at first. His name was Harold, I think. He had this big fro and he was so nice.
Mhm.
He was super nice, very inviting. But yeah, it was just a beautiful place. And then like, you tell it. You're better at this.
No, it was nothing bad happened. It was just one of those places you go on tours like, this is a place. Like, again, it was like a museum of 1969. And the guy was convinced it was 1969 in a good way. Like,
yeah,
he took a photo of us. He's like, all right, everyone say far out. Like, okay.
Yeah, it was like far out.
But remember, guys, that green room was stellar. Like, I think we have a picture on our Instagram, just like this, all these colors and stuff. But the funny thing was, so like when it came to talk about money, he was like, all right, who's the money guy? I was like, I'll do the money. And then he took me in the green room and locked it. And it's funny because they were like looking for me and people started banging on the door. It was like, oh, where's Ben? And he was just like counting out money. It was nothing. It seemed to be more
slow. He's like, what?
It was so funny.
Like, I wish I had a better story other than he was just counting out money, but they were like, where the fuck did he go?
Yeah, it was a little weird that he locked him back there, but
Yeah, it was weird.
I don't think he had to lock the door. I mean, he's a really sweet guy, but
he was super sweet.
No, and like I knocked on the door because I was like, I had to get my shit. And then like he opens the door, the owner guy, and he like has his like face like this, like, what?
yeah.
And I'm like, can I get my stuff? He's like, we're kind of doing business back here. So come back in like 10 minutes.
Oh no.
And I was like, okay. And then he closes the door. And the other band is like wants their shit too because they're trying to go home. And he's like, where's my, like, why can't I get in this room? I'm like, he locked the door.
Yeah, that was interesting.
He's like, it'll be like 2 more minutes. He'll be out in just a second. Like,
Yeah, nothing was happening. No cocaine came out. He was just counting out some dollars. Like, but you know,
he was
it's his room. He gets to lock the door if he wants.
He was a beautiful person. He gave me this speech before we left, like, you know, if there's anything I could tell you, it's just like peace and love and just party. You know, this world is going down the drain.
I have to say this.
So you just need to party.
You speak ill of Howard or Harold. I can't remember.
I loved him.
I have to say this now.
I loved him.
I'm so excited.
So it was a headache working out this whole thing. That's why I didn't want to talk about.
I'm sorry, David.
So I'm like, let's just get this show over with. Like, it was like the only like hill to climb on this tour, you know, for me. And we get out of the truck, and luckily they're all on my side. They're all like, yeah, fuck this, whatever. But nobody actually believed that. I think they were just like,
yeah, they're just giving you.
We're riled up because he's riled up. He was frustrated, so we're frustrated.
Frustrated with the booking process.
Yeah, because it was just, yeah. But anyway, so we get out of the van, and we're like, where is he? He's not even here in this bed. Ben's like, yeah, when he gets here, we should just beat the shit out of him.
Oh no!
And he comes around the corner. He's just standing there.
Right as Ben is saying, like, we should just beat the shit out of him. And then we see
his little afro.
He's like, hi.
We beat the shit out of guys.
He was so nice in person,
I don't think he heard me, or if he did, he played it really
nice
cool.
in person.
I was just like, oh my god.
I think maybe it was such a headache because he's kind of older.
You know,
maybe he's not the best
phone calls.
Yeah,
he's not the best at technology.
Sometimes you meet these people that it's like they got good energy, they're making this happen, but they just need like someone to kind of help.
An assistant.
Yeah.
They
need that in between so that the person can focus on their
It's
thing.
hard to kind of do everything yourself.
He was super. It was just like leading up to the end of the night. So like literally,
and I go missing. Yeah, because I thought I was gonna beat him up, so he took it seriously.
Yeah, he locks you in the room. He's like, all right, 1, 2.
I still wonder if he heard that. I don't think he did.
I don't think he did. He was far away.
I mean, he may have not known it was him either.
Yeah.
You guys
He'd be
just
beating up
outed us.
anybody.
Yeah.
Now he's gonna know.
I don't think he heard it because I think he's the type that would have been like, "What did you just say?" Like,
What'd you say to me?
Okay.
personality. Like he would have not taken
But
that.
at the same time, he was very lovely and peace and love, drugs, party.
Peace and love and drugs. I was gonna say, like, if I was gonna choose a favorite on the California tour, it would have been Berkeley, just because
Definitely.
the booking, yes, was stressful, but like that room was just like, what the fuck?
It was an adventure. We got a really cool video from that place too of our song "Dissociate."
Should be out soon.
His girlfriend took a cool video where it like starts at the back of the crowd and then moves through the crowd, and then you see.
Okay.
Yeah, it had like very
It
P.T.
sounded
Anderson
really good,
vibes.
too. Yeah,
Hell yeah.
it's good times.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, we've still got one person to hear from.
Oh well, there was the Bear Mace.
Bear Mace. Yes, I was gonna say, someone do Bear Mace.
So when the first time we were supposed to play Shanghai Tunnel, we we get downtown and we walk into like their little upstairs bar.
Also, shout out Shanghai.
Love Shanghai.
Yeah. We'll be back soon.
But yeah, the bartender's like, "Oh, are you you're one of the acts tonight? We have a situation."
Whoa.
It turns out like one of the bartenders was like leaving, like got off her shift and went next door because there's an apartment complex next door. And there was somebody in the doorway hanging out, just kind of like being volatile. And when she like got in it with this person, just like, "Hey, I'm just trying to get to my apartment." Person pulls out a can of bear mace.
Oh no!
The entire entrance of this apartment complex. Like I heard there was like pools of it on the ground. Like a
Wait, is that the one that attaches to the? Oh,
It lives there too. Yeah.
How long ago did this happen?
What was it like?
A couple months ago.
Okay, then it may not be because when I went there, they were like, "You cannot leave this door unattended." I wonder if that's why.
I'm sure it. Yeah.
But yeah, like because they were, as we were there, they're like, "Yeah, we don't think it's safe to go down in the basement because the bear mace got in the vents, and it's a basement, so it's not ventilated."
Oh no!
And like, I think one of like the sound guys or somebody came up and was like, "Yeah, you don't notice it at first, and then like after 10 minutes, your eyes start burning and your throat starts burning, and you feel like your head is gonna like die."
What a concerning state. You don't notice it right away.
Yeah, that was the scary part.
Yeah.
He bear mace.
I wanted to go down.
Power through. Should we
didn't
just
even
do it
look
anyway? But then it was like, no, this does not sound worth it at all.
I don't think you power through bear mace.
No.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I just want. I
Glad
was saying.
we got to move the show.
Yeah, I was saying I wanted to go down and experience it, and Brad actually was gonna come down with me. He's like, "Hey, let's just see what it's like." And I think the cooks are like, "You really don't want to." It's like,
No.
"Okay, we're not going."
No.
They like explained it. That was like, you know what? I don't really want to experience that.
Yeah.
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 But part two, the fun part two to that story was we still played because luckily the booker also books for Hawthorne Hideaway and I think another place because it was 3 bands and we were.
Is his name Chris?
I think
I
so.
believe so.
They were very nice, and this was a crazy, let's roll with the punches thing. But there's 3 bands that night. And we all showed up milling around downtown Portland. Like, okay, what do we do? You have 3 bands.
Yeah.
It's like I can put you somewhere, and we all migrated over the river and played Hawthorne Hideaway, and it was a good show.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It all turned out.
I was gonna say it's an acceptable alternative.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's no Shanghai.
Oh.
We love the Shanghai.
We do love
Yeah.
Shout out
Shanghai's
every time to
awesome.
Shanghai Tunnel Bar. But if you had to go somewhere else because of bear mace,
Yeah.
acceptable place to go instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Telling people it's like, oh yeah, we had that show at Shanghai, didn't end up happening because of the bear mace thing, and everyone was like,
Say the words bear maze.
that.
Yeah,
Or, like of all the reasons to kind of like pull out of a show.
See, earlier I thought you said bear maze.
The bear maze, yeah.
I thought that was like a really cool band or something like
Bear
that.
Maze.
Played with, which Bear Maze. If somebody makes that a band, you can be on the show as long as you're 4 people or less.
Bear maze.
Labyrinth,
Yes.
Shanghai Tunnel with a bear in it, and they just put
That that's not impossible with the space down there. It could definitely be doable. Get some cardboard and then cover the cardboard in bear mace so the bears don't knock it over.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. And then it adds an extra layer of difficulty. A bear maze.
A bear maze, bear maze.
Oh no. All right. Thank you all for sharing those stories. Now we've got one last question in this portion of it. And this is very much a individual's answer. We're going to go back to y'all one-on-one for these. And this is probably the densest question on the show, and it's very introspective. So we've talked a lot about, the experiences with music, the things that happen because of it, how it all plays out. But what does music give back to you individually?
individually.
So like, when it's just you and the music, what do you gain from playing?
It's I mean, like, I want to say like it's something to do, which is
Come on, man.
from a like philosophical perspective, it's
Purpose.
it is the thing. Yeah, it's like a purpose. It is it's the great work. It's what you do to kind of feel like this is my thing.
I call it life's work. This is my life's work
that you do that kind of it, because like I'm always trying to create something, and it's like if I take a break from just like writing music or recording music or anything, you get or I get like really depressed and anxious because it's like I don't have anything to work on. There's nothing that I'm like making, and so it's I like making something exist that didn't exist prior to that.
Hell yeah, the something from nothing of it all.
Yeah,
hell yeah. Now what about you?
Like personal fulfillment or just
like what do you gain inwards from music?
I feel like kind of a lot what Brett said. But for me, I think it's like a mixture of just being fun and exciting and a little bit scary, at times, and also vulnerable because you're sharing ideas and you're standing in front of people, trying to, I don't know, put on a show, I guess, in a way. But also in the back of my mind, it's like, I don't know. It's for me, it's hard to explain because like, I don't like attention very much, but I like going out and playing and having high risk situations.
High risk.
High risk.
We have been some high risk situations.
The edible game. It's
Well,
like,
like-
all right, can this hit me before or after the show?
But here's the
Air mace.
thing is like,
that's a high risk.
it is a high
Uh,
risk. You're right.
Going downtown at all feels like a high
well,
risk.
I don't mean like
situation.
that. I mean just like if you talk to your friends about performing, they're like, I'll never sing in front of people.
Mhm.
Huh.
I'll never do this or
Yeah.
that in front of people. And I was like that too.
Mhm.
But I've always aspired to be like the people I grew up listening to,
Mhm.
and they put in that work,
Yeah.
and I want to follow in those footsteps in a sense, and like the things you see in documentaries and biopics and stuff like that, it's like they show you what it was like for them a lot later in their careers, but when they started doing it and actually going out, like they felt that same vulnerability and like I don't know, it's cool because I the only way to experience that is to just do it, and telling yourself, oh, I'll get to it later or whatever.
Mhm.
It's like
Mhm.
you're never gonna do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally have to go. And I think, like, I don't know, it's just nice to go out and keep playing and just experiencing that every time it feels like. I think when I don't feel that anymore, I'll stop. Like if I stop feeling vulnerable
Oh,
or stop
interesting.
feeling,
Interesting.
yeah, like I think it's just exciting to, I don't know.
That's a really cool answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
I feel like if you get too good,
You're just too confident. Are you gonna
Like,
stop?
No,
Not anymore.
I know this shit. There's no risk.
That's the right answer.
I don't feel that talent would dictate emotional response to it to a degree. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the jitters, the anxiousness,
Yeah.
that like pre-show and the post-show of it all. I think there is. It's kind of like a rubber band almost. Like you feel all of that, and I think even the end of it when you get off stage, that release of like I did it.
Yeah.
That has
That is the
that
best
has its own
part.
quality.
And like I don't feel vulnerable throughout like the entire time I'm performing. It's just like the lead up to it.
Yeah,
the
the
anticipation.
anticipation.
Your friends are excited to see you or something, or a venue's like, oh, did you sell all these tickets? Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of pressure just to go out and have fun.
Yeah,
Like
it's a lot
Yeah.
of organization and
Yeah.
like communication and things like that.
right. And then when you're up there, you're sharing your ideas. Like these songs might have meant something really personal to you, and then it's all monetized and like
Yeah.
people see it in different ways, and it's just there's a lot of stuff going on. I don't know. I think I'm just hyper aware of it, maybe.
No, I mean, that's the reality. I mean, I've asked this question to so many people now, and it seems to be a pretty interesting duality between the two of like, the need to create, the need to perform, the wanting to be in front of people. And then for some people, it is a way to exist in front of people, but to stay themselves. Like
Yeah.
there was one person that was on before where they were like, I had no social life in high school. I could not communicate with people at all. And so she started singing. She started like practicing and getting good at music so that when she went on stage, she could present something that was her. And like, even like, and she did a talent show and she like got to like, and that was how she eventually developed an identity that she felt everybody could enjoy, that she could be comfortable with.
Yeah.
So they're like, for some people, music is a presentation of self. Like it's how
totally.
they create the way they want people to see them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is because I've, not to soak up more time over that question, but like in the past, I mean, very recently, I did struggle with not feeling a whole lot of things in general. So like the more like over time, as the more I write or the more I go out and do stuff, like I just feel more just awake in the world, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And so being in your room, and that's fine. For some people that might feel that, you know, awake or enlightened in their own space.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But like for me, it wasn't doing it, you know, like I just had to get out and experience, meet new people, you know, do things like this. Or like, we don't know what this is like, you know, but it's exciting to do all this stuff. And the fact that the art is driving all of it is like, yeah, I don't know. It's just amazing. So,
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
And what about you?
I just do it to get laid. Pretty much. I'm joking. I'm totally joking.
I was gonna say, that's like one of the only answers we haven't gotten. Now that I think about it. Yeah, like I mean, I'm sure that's more people's.
A lot of people do though, I think. But no, I'm joking.
Maybe you used to.
I definitely used to. But no, I like the self-expression aspect of it, and like David said, just like getting out there and doing something. Yeah, and it is very vulnerable, and creating. I do love creating, making a thing. A lot of your guys' answers. But yeah, also just get laid. You know. I don't know.
It's the first one in the lineup of 3. I think it goes sex and then drugs and then rock and roll.
Yeah.
In that order. It's not even alphabetical. That's all
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just the passion. There's I have a passion for music. It's like I have like many hobbies, but I think music has always been my favorite one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
All right, and then to round it all out.
I think just copy paste all 3 of them. But if I want to add something, it is the community. Well, maybe kind of similar to what Dave was saying, like how I like to interact with people. Because I don't want to say music's a language. That's a little cheesy, but you know, it is a way that we communicate, not just us in the band. It's very much how we communicate in the band, and that's my favorite way to communicate with people, but then also performer and audience. And it really boils down to, I mean, again, similar to Brett, just like, this is what I do. This has always been what I do. But as to why, it's like, I love listening to music. I love going to shows. Mm-hmm. You know, that's my favorite thing to consume. And so I want to produce it to, you know, not return the favor. I just want to be in that cycle, and that cycle is a community. And again, not just playing music, but also attending music too. I love going to shows. I love listening to records. My favorite pastime is just at home, just listening to records and doing nothing else. And this is just the world where I am happiest, you know, even if it's just playing a part. And again, the community, like playing a part in it, like, I've written songs and I've, done the instrumental thing, but being in a band is like my favorite place to be. I don't just like, my favorite thing is, we came off each other perfectly there. Like, I love tight bands. I love being in a tight band, and everyone is just like, succinct, even like with the robots too, like the robots and the flesh bots. And we're just all like, oh, it's, I love it. So yeah, community. It's weird. I don't know if that's quite the right word, but just a reciprocal.
Yeah. I mean, even to break it down to just the interaction.
Yes.
Yeah. It seems like that's a big part for you, the collaborative experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said. I mean, and it does. It spans past the band, because the band is where it creates. Like it's where it's created, but the receiving audience is partially
a huge part of it too. I think
it's not something to ignore.
Yeah.
for sure. And there's that energy because an audience can tell when a band is there for them versus when they're there for the audience.
Yeah.
And I think that goes a long way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I get that. I think that's awesome. And I mean, those were all great answers, you guys. Thank you so much for sharing. I think it's always interesting to hear these answers from bands too, versus like a one-on-one, because there is such a communal answer just from being together. So it's cool to see how you all answered individually as well as how much of it was shared, because that's just something that develops over time. All right, but we've got one more portion to go through. And these are all fun. These are all hypothetical questions.
Woo.
And these are, there are no wrong answers. And they're a lot of fun. So feel free. Most of these will just kind of be however you would like to answer them in order. But this first one, and we still want to have everybody answer on this. If you could add one additional instrument to the band other than a Canadian keyboard player, what would you add to the band?
Tambourine.
We have tambourine in several tracks.
Or is it the like?
True.
We don't have a designated.
Fair.
Part of the question I usually ask is, and would you play it yourself or have someone else play it? But we'll assume this would be a fifth person playing an additional instrument.
Yeah. Or shaker or something like that.
A percussionist.
I guess I've tried to do that myself, but
yeah. Well, a percussionist and a drummer are vastly different people, so it's very doable to have somebody whose job is percussion.
But at the same time, it would look weird to just have somebody standing on stage.
A lot. Actually, there are a fair amount of bands who are like, especially in like more like Latin and funk genres.
Yeah, definitely.
They will have like, somebody who does congas, but they also have, a table full of like hand percussion and like,
Talking Heads, when they had like the giant band, they had a percussionist do all that stuff too. So
yeah. So it's
band.
It's doable. It's doable. But yeah, but that is a valid answer for sure.
A keyboard player for sure would be really cool.
Canadian.
Yeah.
Japanese keyboard player.
Oh.
But I had this idea that it'd be cool to have somebody in front of all your pedals on stage.
Ooh.
And they tweak everything in the middle of your set. Like they know your songs in and out.
So it's like a pedal board DJ.
Yeah. In and out. They know everything. They know when your solos are going to start. They know how to get these frequencies where you want them during a certain part of the song. And they're all off stage fucking with all your shit. And then like whatever, like they can make it sound really awesome or.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I always assume that like huge groups have those people.
Well, I mean,
guitar techs.
I don't mean like, John Mayer or whatever, like leave that.
I feel like John Mayer wouldn't, but the Edge would.
Totally have.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, his mom.
But
Edge. That's all you need.
Really?
To know.
The band or something. They were part of the band, like they're doing their own thing.
Apparently,
guitarist being like.
Apparently, Silverstone Pickups does that. I think the keyboardist does have some guitar effects that are wired through to him. So
Marsh does that to his own pedals, and he does weird stuff to his pedals. They're all up here while he's playing, so he messes with everything. And that's where I thought of that idea because I saw him doing that. It's not in my idea, but I saw him doing that, and I was like, that'd be so fun to just be like, it's right in front of like a conductor or something. Just
I think it would be fun to have it that literally behind the band as a DJ, like the booth and everything. But instead of the CDJs up at angle, it's just pedal board.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
They've got headphones on. They're like,
that would be really cool.
It'd be really cool. I don't know. I thought
that would help out.
Is that kind of what like Eno was doing in Roxy Music.
Yeah.
Just like pipe the instruments through his weird synth and just like
manipulator
sound strange.
But like with our songs, still, like what we have, and like they could take them to a whole different route or something. Like
this concept is actually really intriguing.
I want to see someone
try it. We should try
pedal board DJ.
You just try it.
And we give him all 3 pedal boards and like they're in charge.
A GJ.
A GJ?
Ooh.
GJ.
A PJ.
Yeah.
No, PJ. He's a PJ.
I was thinking for guitars, but but bass.
Pedal.
PJ.
Yeah,
jockey.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. We just.
PBJ.
Oh.
What's the B stand
Pedal board.
I'm an idiot.
2 words.
PBJ.
Oh,
Yeah.
it just became real.
PBJ.
PBJ.
Holy shit.
All right, get on Craigslist, you guys.
If you're looking for a PBJ.
No other explanation.
No. We just get the weirdest people.
Okay.
Like I have no musical ability, but I can turn some knobs.
Oh, this is amazing. All right, we'll run around. We'll run with this idea more after the show.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that is a great one.
Okay.
All right, and then what about you?
I definitely think another like a keyboard player, professional synth kind of. Yeah, because we have some songs that require that, and like we need or we need to like practice the songs with that because like they can play.
We used to have a lot more keyboard in the band.
Like these people are multi-talented, but yeah, it would be nice to have someone just to do it.
Yeah. Also, it's cool how when you have somebody who does it, they can hear things that you would never, as the people who play the music already, your preconceived notions of what happens on a keyboard will always be attached to exactly what you're playing. That extra mind who's like, I only think in the ways of keys, will hear what you're playing and go, I have additional things
Billy
that you
Preston.
would have never thought of. Yeah, and that that falls into the collaboration aspect again.
You need someone who can actually play piano.
Yeah.
We've all just kind of like picked it up on like, I can kind of do this.
Well, that was like my favorite thing that we were doing because we used to play keyboard a lot. There's sometimes be 2 or 3 keyboards on stage, and in the albums, like The World's Our Oyster on record, we can add whatever. But one thing, not to rebut Delaney, but there's a lot of songs on the record that are keyboard based, and it's like, let's just do them with guitar. And that translation I thought was kind of fun. Where it's like the same song, same vibes even, the same dreamy vibes, like, well, it'll just be a guitar note instead of a keyboard note. And I kind of, for a couple of songs, that translation has been exciting. For me, exciting, just seeing the different stuff on the same scaffolding kind of thing.
No, that makes sense. And there's definitely something to be said. Also, sometimes live, too many instruments can add a density, especially for small venues or places that aren't equipped to handle that sound because they're used to like the dad rocks of it all.
Right. Well, we stripped down like guitar, bass, and drums, and it just makes it a more portable unit.
Yeah.
And since then, we've found a lot of success. Well, David, we found a lot of success, but paring it down, because I think in the beginning we were definitely Brett and Chris and I were like really trying to show off, and it's like, okay, let's just
they used to switch instruments all the time.
Y'all were one of those.
That's
we don't do it anymore.
Drive me nuts because I would have to wait for them to switch the instrument.
We were pretty speedy.
I mean, guitar down behind kit.
It took quite a bit of time.
Didn't take that long.
I felt like it feels like forever to me because I'm standing there with the microphone.
True, you have to do all the talking.
Which I don't like talking a lot. I'd rather be singing than talking.
Yeah, we don't do a lot of banter.
We don't do a ton of banter.
The leftover from those
transitions.
I was gonna say the leftover from those days though is like we still have the sample pad, which I don't want to lose. Like, so we'll have backing beats or sequencers. So there's still like a bit of that Brett has. But that's what I would add. And we almost did this one show we didn't get to. The second time I saw Radiohead, because they added what's his name, Clive Deemer, and he's their extra drummer on stage, and he's behind an E-kit. So like before, when they just like ran the drum machine or whatever, which was still cool, and that's what we do. But then since I think King of Limbs, they added Clive Deemer playing the E-drum. So like all these, electronic beats and love are then executed live. And like remember seeing like Idiotech and just sort of like this, do weird kind of solo, and then it falls into the beat for Idiotech. I'm just like, oh fuck, oh my fucking god, that's so cool. And I would like at some point to have that where instead of a robot or a drum machine, we have another drummer on the E-kit. So then all the robot elements have like this organic thing behind them so we can kind of fuck with it a bit. We almost did that for one show, but then the person couldn't do it. But like that's still in my dream as not all the time, but I would just like to see that executed because
Hell yeah. I mean, those were all really fun answers for sure, man. And I mean, it's always such a weird concept. I'm surprised a little. I appreciate this, but I'm a little surprised nobody said saxophone. Usually with every band, there's one. There's at least one person that's like,
I know a saxophone player. And remember I think when we were playing Rubber Medusa, like there was a song that we had an idea to have a saxophonist on, but it just never came through.
Yeah, that, and if you only have one, it's hard to get like a saxophone player to come and play it.
Yeah.
You'd be like, hey, can you come in? They're still going to charge you the same amount.
Yeah.
So if it's not part of the band, it's hard.
Talented sax player,
yeah. And they know it. That's like there's a handful of them around here, and they know it.
So they charge top dollar. They
So they're
fucking
just
know.
like, I have to bring my entire instrument. You're like, it's on a thing. You're like, my whole instrument.
Yeah.
I have to show up and then mic it. It's a clip-on thing, and I have to show up. You got me there. I don't know what to tell you. You're a person.
Yeah.
But I mean, a talented saxophone player. Also, whoever, I've never shouted them out on the show before, but there is a soon-to-be talented saxophone player that lives right on the other side of this wall somewhere.
Nice.
Find out who it is one day and invite him on the show.
Knock on the like, hey there, I hear you every
They're
morning.
not there yet, but you can tell
Nice.
they're gonna be there.
Nice.
So one day, if I stay here long enough, there will be a future saxophone
Hell
player
yeah.
That's awesome.
that I'll just be like, oh, if you go next door.
Nice.
Nice.
So shout out to whoever that is. I don't know who they are, but I appreciate that.
Hear
Well
that.
done, Mr.
Yeah.
Saxophone, whoever you are.
Also, it's a complicated instrument at a certain point, and you have to be accepting of it in the household. Like drums.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like drums, saxophones don't really come with a volume knob per se.
new.
Yeah.
Per se.
Yeah.
I did know a guy who it was this styrofoam contraption.
Mhm.
It was form fit, and you could put a mic in it. And so you could
Oh,
be playing it and it wouldn't project out, but it still got
nice. Yeah. Like, is there a way you can mute the saxophone?
yeah, or at least it not so much it was just like it just kept it all in.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Never really thought about horns. Remember Kilroy, he does the trumpet thing at the beginning. That was really cool. Like
Cool.
using that as like a noise instrument rather than a note instrument.
Yeah.
But I was going to add a part B to that. You don't see a lot of trumpet.
Oh yeah. All right. Now usually I ask like people if they could work with like any one famous person, who would they work with? But that's a little hard in a group setting. So I am going to spice it up a little bit. And if y'all could share a stage with one other band. So it was a 2-band lineup, but it had to be somebody local.
Oh.
Who would you each individually want the band to play a show with that you haven't played with before?
It has to be a local band?
Yeah, somebody you're aware of that you're like, man, they would be a cool band to play a show with just like on sound alone, or you know them personally, but you haven't gotten to play with them yet.
I know what Brett's going to say.
What am I going to say?
We'll say what you're going to say. But
I don't know. I'm still thinking. Oh yeah, we were talking about the fur coats.
got it.
I'm a
That's what I
fan.
thought you were gonna
I'm a
say.
fan of the fur coats,
Okay,
and we haven't played with them yet, and I'd like to play with them.
perfect.
I messaged 40 Feet Tall a while ago,
Yeah.
and they got back to me, and they're like, "Yeah, we can't do that bill, but like, thanks for asking, you know." And then I've been listening to their music. I'm like, that'd be really fun to play with. I think they're still in Portland, right? Yeah, I think they are.
Good question. Everybody at them in the comments. At every band that they're about.
Pretty
to
sure
say
they're
the
still in
comments.
Portland.
Let's put a whole bill
I
together.
play at Doug Fur a lot. I'm sure they'll be back when it opens, and then they play at Rev Hall and stuff. So that'd be cool.
Oh yeah, I'm so curious about the new Doug Fur.
Yeah,
Too.
Yeah,
Seriously.
like-
I'm very curious.
Yeah, that was such a bold move.
yeah,
Like that place is iconic.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm sad we never got to play it.
I wish I knew somebody who knew why that happened. You know.
I think they just wanted bigger. Also, the big thing in the middle,
Oh,
Yeah.
whether you liked it or not, it was in the way.
yeah.
Like, was it great that the sound guy got to be dead center stage from the back? Yeah,
Mhm.
that's amazing.
Mhm.
But that was so much real estate
Yeah,
that could have been like easily, 30, 40, 50 more people.
yeah,
Yeah.
And maybe it'll still be a venue, just not at Doug Fur. So
Well, it's moving to the Montage building.
Yeah, the old Montage building, which is crazy because that
Yeah.
thing is huge.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. Like,
Huger.
it's bigger. They're going to be able to do
Yeah.
more with it.
And that's also an iconic space. So I'm kind of curious where they take that.
mm-hmm.
I don't really know, but I am excited that we're gonna play with Jay Graves.
Okay. Hell yeah.
We saw Jay Graves at Mississippi?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that felt like that was a big show for them, and I was like, it was really great. So
I want to do an episode there.
At
Yeah.
the.
At Mississippi. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I don't know who I'd interview, but I want to do an actual like one of these there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, when we get it,
I'm
Yeah,
always
we'll let you
more-
know when we get it.
Hell yeah.
I'm always more focused on like the bands on our level, I guess.
Well, I mean, that's totally fine too. I mean, like this can be anybody that's local. You know what I mean? Just like somebody that
Oh.
you think would be cool to play with.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't.
We played with them all.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm not super like until I play with you. Like I'm not super like well versed in like unless I'm already playing with them.
Fair.
So, but I'm excited for Jay Graves.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Well, you haven't played. Excuse me.
That's
you
true, yeah.
with them yet, so it still
But
counts.
we're going to. We're going to.
Yes.
Though.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I'll give it to you because you haven't yet.
Not yet.
Jay Graves, yeah.
Not yet.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, honestly, Jay Graves would be on my list too. Luckily, we get to play with them. I feel like, are the Shivas still around?
Oh yeah.
I think, or are they on hiatus? I feel like playing with the Shivas would be really cool. Like, we don't exactly match, but I think, you know, noisy guitar kind of vibes. I feel like that'd be good. But I don't know if they're active or not. I really want to play with Low Fives. I know some of the guys in that band. I think we'd have a really good. I think it would match pretty well too.
Mhm.
So shout out to Low Fives. You want to play a show together? That'd be rad.
Everybody at these bands in the comments. Let's get them put together.
Yeah, my original band I wanted to play with, even though we don't sound anything like them. Probably my favorite Portland band is Help, but we got to play with them in Eugene, so it was like I was in fucking disbelief because like, oh, bucket list band, and then it just fell in our laps, and
That was pretty cool.
we sound very different. I mean, there's kind of a noisy element, but that was a treat for me.
Fun.
Oh
Yeah.
Super fun.
Oh
You know, there's the lineups don't always have to be.
no, they don't.
Yeah, like I think that's something that's missed a lot. Is like if you have good energy and like purpose with your lineup, you know, like don't put the slowest band last.
No.
You know what I mean, but like you know, the differences of sounds can be appreciated, especially at like beginning, middle, end kind of thing.
That's what was great about the Berkeley show is we played with a singer-songwriter. The Berkeley show was magical. A singer-songwriter who was like pop and played with a backing track. And then,
Nothing. We're coming back to the Berkeley.
The Berkeley show's like, no, but like we were very different genre-wise, but the energy did build. And remember the second band was like a two-piece R&B group. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Really cool.
And then the last band was just this really intense, like metal shoegazy thing. Like, so
So it just kind of like progressed into that.
yes, but the four acts, including us, were, I feel, very different on the genre spectrum. But I think that can make for an awesome show.
Yeah, especially if it's all like people who like present well. You know what I mean? Like if they put on a good performance, people who go to shows are going to enjoy good performances.
Yes.
You know, that's the point we'd all hope.
And they did. I think they'll.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun.
All right, now this last one is going to be another individual answers, and this is just a fun one. I really enjoy this one, so we're gonna leave it as is. But if you could get one more album from anybody, and they could be alive or dead, they could have never made an album, they could have put out an album last week. But if you could get an album from one more musical experience, who would you pick?
Like a band in general?
Yeah, just it and
And they can be dead?
they can be dead. Also, somebody asked if they could pick somebody who isn't a musician at all.
Oh.
That's a whole new world of answers. Oh no.
Whoa.
And she was like, yeah, what if like I want an album from Gandhi? I was like, yo, he'd make some
Hell yeah.
bangers.
Gandhi.
He would make the best lo-fi ever. But yeah, so just if you can get an album, but we'll stick to music mostly. That's the assumptive answer. But if you can get one more album right now from anybody, who would you want an album from?
I want another Scott Walker album
Oh.
because his albums were just progressively getting weirder and weirder and more intense and unique. And then he died, and it's like, who else is going to make those records now?
Right?
Like, yeah.
I felt that way about The Verve. Like I wanted like to hear another album because they were just like, yeah, we're done because we kind of hate doing all this shit or something. I can't remember what their excuse was, but they were just like, we're just done doing music stuff. And I think they were just really burnt out. But
You wanted to see what the fourth part is, or
yeah, just like I don't know.
fifth? I think they had a fourth.
Something about that was just interesting to me. I was like, oh, when bands quit because they're like so done, I'm like, oh, what if you put another one? Like I'm so curious.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they'll come back. You know what I mean? Hopefully they'll be like, maybe we did miss it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. But that's where my brain goes.
Oh yeah.
Trying to think. Maybe like the Talking Heads.
Oh man,
Okay.
Talking Heads 2024 album.
Yeah, that would be.
They're all in their 70s.
That would be great.
You know, I'm always curious, like, especially where like the answers to this questions, like how often they get answered like in the time of their last album versus the present day.
Mm.
And I'm always so curious, like present day versions of like things from like, imagine Hendrix today.
Yeah.
Like what a world that would be. That would just like how far guitar like technology has come.
Mm-hmm.
Like, could you just imagine him with a Kemper?
Right. Yeah.
And impeccable. It'd be incredible. He'd be so old by now, but he would just like BB King at it. Just
Yeah.
still eyes closed 100% of the time and just kill.
Lighting them on fire and
Yeah.
hell yeah.
All right, and then to round it out.
I want the third Joy Division album. I want to go back in time and I want the third album with Ceremony and whatever else they're working on, and Ian Curtis not be dead.
Fair.
I want that third album to
Nice.
exist in this timeline.
Fair. Hell yeah. All right, y'all. Well, thank you. We've now reached
Yeah.
the wrap-up portion. Why don't you go ahead? Anybody can tell us what's coming up next. What can we look forward to in the, let's say, first quarter of 2024?
Mm.
Jeez.
The Holocene show.
Holocene with Jay Graves.
Yeah, January 3rd with
Really?
Holocene. Yeah, that's
And Bridal Veil.
Bridal Veil. Yeah, we're getting really excited about that one. I mean, we just like playing there.
I love the Holocene.
Holocene's great.
It's one of my favorite. Their sound in particular
Mhm.
is stellar
Yeah.
as long as there's a crowd.
Yeah.
The only
Yes.
time it doesn't sound good is if there's like 3 people there.
Yeah, right.
It's a lot of echo, yeah.
But they just, I mean, first of all, the board they use is incredible. I won't
Yeah.
put out on it too hard. It's a great board. They really put the thought into it, and the presentation of the stage itself.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Yeah.
And like even like the bar area and the way they separate the venue space from the like the regular hangout space is just really tasteful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely.
We're doing a short run of shows next week. We're starting in Seattle. We're going to play Chop Suey
Oh hell yeah.
Wednesday on the 13th, right?
Mhm.
And then we're going to be playing at the Crypt in Olympia on the 14th, and then Labor Temple in Astoria on the 15th, and then Fixin' 2 on Saturday.
Yeah, a little homecoming.
Oh,
A
yeah.
little mini.
That's a good
tour.
little run. That's a good little run of venues though. For
Yeah.
sure. And like, you know, at this time of year, nobody should be traveling through mountains.
No,
You know what I mean? Like,
no.
The snow have be fallen by now, especially
Yeah.
by the time this episode comes out.
We did think about it because we play with some bands from Montana, and we were like, and they were like, you should come over and play with us.
Not in the winter.
Yeah.
And we're like, that's a few months out.
We'll spring or summer. We'll come out there.
Cosmic Sands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cosmic Sun. Oh yeah, we're both wearing it.
No, you got you.
Yeah.
Oh, cute.
Oh, rad. What we're doing, yeah, and then I don't know when this is coming out, but the 9th is the next show.
This will probably have come out. But I usually try to like say like let's lean like the next month in.
Oh, next month then, yeah. So
Just to be safe.
for sure, yeah. So yeah, tour and then Holocene. Holocene is as the first show of the year.
Hell yeah.
That's a good way to start off
I'm
2024.
lucky with those because this year was Ron Tom.
Ron Toms.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it
Yeah.
was
That's awesome.
their very first session of the year, and that was like really exciting for us.
Yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
that was a fun show.
That's another really fun venue to play.
Yes,
Yeah.
The atmosphere is so different
I
there.
love it.
Regardless of whether you play inside or outside, too. It's a completely different show,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
but everybody always shows up for Ron Thompson.
Oh, yeah.
It's so great. It's like the Portland CBGBs. Like,
Yeah.
you go to Ron Tom's because you're going to Ron Tom's, and it's just like whoever's playing. That I love it. I love that vibe. And yeah, that was that January of this year.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
January 5th.
That's how we started off this year, and that was a good
So
start.
January at Ron Tom's, and now it's going to be January at the Holocene.
Yeah.
Next year it'll be January at Moda Center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which band doesn't make that joke?
Yeah.
We
Motor
always
Center, guys.
we always say that when we mess up.
You can say fuck up.
I was gonna say fuck up.
We're like, Moda Center.
Yeah, we're like Moda Center.
Yeah.
It's like a joke because we're
It's like get into the
Doing a bad job.
mindset. It's like pretend you're playing at Moda Center.
yeah.
You can't fuck up.
You know, I would do an episode there as well.
Hell yeah.
That'd be interesting. But I make sure to do it dead center.
Yeah.
Dead center.
Yeah.
And just make sure the camera just pans around occasionally.
Yep.
Hell yeah. All right. And then for this next one, go ahead, look back at the camera. We're going to have you close up. We'll do, let's say if you want to do your individual like ads and things for how people can find you, you can. Or if you just want to do the bands, go ahead, look straight at the camera together and do that.
Okay.
We're on Instagram. It's SitPrettyPDX.
And Bandcamp?
Yeah, we have a Bandcamp.
Bandcamp or sitpretty.bandcamp or the other way around, bandcamp.sitpretty. Find us on Spotify, iTunes, all that jazz.
All of it.
And Brett does have a side project. You feel like talking about.
Oh yeah, Cause Poby is on all Spotify and all that stuff, and a cool new group called Ramagons. That they're toys. It's a band of toys. It's weird. You should check it out. Ramagons.
Mm-hmm.
You have a few projects, don't you, David?
Oh yeah, I have like my own songs that I write with my friend bandmate Kai. It's called Unseen Object. We just released our first song, so it's out on Spotify and Bandcamp and all the usual shit, Instagram stuff. So.
All right. And then any other plugs, any other shout outs, anybody else y'all want to put on while you're on here?
Get Slam Piece on here. These guys are rad.
I love Slam Piece.
And Two Piece, they'd fit on this couch nicely.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Good conversationist.
Oh, yeah.
they'll have room to stretch out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, we've got one more question to go. But before we do, I'm going to steal the camera for just a second.
Ooh.
As always, y'all, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And one more shout out to our sponsor, Brothers Apothecary. As always, make sure to go click the link below, get it before the holidays are done, or after, I don't care. It's up to you. But now for the final question. And this is, again, individual question. And this one's, up to your interpretation, however you want to answer it best. But what is an album that you wish everybody knew about, but didn't?
Mm.
Man, you can't just spring these questions on.
That's why I always put it for last. This is the one that you're like,
There's like so many.
Hmm. That's hard.
like everyone should have heard it, but it's just one of my favorite records. If you haven't listened to Electric Warrior by the band T-Rex,
Everyone knows it.
I feel like there's still probably some people who haven't heard it. And if you haven't,
I haven't
heard it, you're hurting yourself. Like,
Is a fantastic album.
yourself by not listening to Electric Warrior. It's just a really good record.
hell yeah.
Can confirm.
First thing that came to mind.
Jeez, I don't know. They come back to me.
All right.
I don't know if I know anything that obscure. I don't know. One of my favorite bands is Tennis, and their first album is
Hell
really
yeah.
good.
Cape Dory.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's a good one. We just were listening to that on the way.
Hell yeah.
Did you think of one, David?
No.
Oh, now it's a race to see who will come up with it first.
Oh my god. I mean, like if no one's heard Loveless by My Bloody Valentine, you just should.
That's fair.
I feel like a lot of people have heard it, but if you haven't, you just need to. Everyone should hear that fucking record and own it. And yeah.
Hell yeah.
Actually, I don't remember the name of it, but I own it. I have it on vinyl, and I listen to it all the time, and I still don't remember the name of it. Never find something, but Minus Bear's first album.
Oh,
I listen to it all the time,
Hell yeah.
and I always give that vinyl out, which is probably why I forgot the name of it. But
someone else has it right now.
like I give it to them, like, you need to listen to this, and I'll have it, and then I'm like, okay, now you need to listen to this, and now it's just like I just listen to it so much, I just don't even look at it anymore. But yeah.
Can I change mine? Dave, what's the album I like with lady fingers on it?
Oh, Herb Alpert and the
Whipped
Tijuana
cream?
Brass.
Whipped Cream and Other
Whipped Cream and Other
Delights?
Delights, yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Herb Alpert.
Herb Alpert and the Tijuana
Whipped
Brass.
Cream and Other Delights.
Hell
That
yeah.
has some bangers on it.
Oh yeah, Lady Fingers is my favorite song on there. Maybe my favorite song of all time.
Ooh. All right. Well, y'all know what.
Check out
Definitely go
soon.
check those out.
Soon on Loveless.
Hell yeah. All right. We're going to go ahead and get up and out of here. You guys, thank you so much for joining us
Thank
today.
Thank you for
you.
having us.
Thank you.
This has been another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. I'm Jimmy.
I'm Brett.
I'm David.
I'm Delaney.
I'm Bennett. And we are
Sit Pretty.
And we're signing off. Later, y'all.
That's a wrap. This is not a podcast. This is a show. Keep jamming.